So Donald Trump's announcement that he will commit ethnic cleansing of more than 2 million Palestinians in Gaza has rightly evoked angry reactions from around the world. He first made the announcement immediately after meeting war criminal Benjamin Netanyahu at the White House.
And Mr. President, given what you've said about Gaza, did the U.S. send troops to help secure the security vacuum?
So Saudi Arabia is going to be very helpful, and they have been very helpful. They want peace in the Middle East. It's very simple. We know their leader and their leaders very well. They're wonderful people, and they want peace in the Middle East. As far as Gaza is concerned, we'll do what is necessary. If it's necessary, we'll do that. We're going to take over that piece, and we're going to develop it, create thousands and thousands of jobs, and it'll be something that the entire Middle East can be very proud of.
Not one reporter had the courage to challenge Trump or his war criminal friend Netanyahu on this sick idea of committing ethnic cleansing over 2 million people. This is what journalism in the US has been reduced to, despite the existence of the First Amendment. Apparently, the First Amendment gives you the right to free speech, but this perhaps doesn't apply to people working for media outlets. What a bloody shame. Trump then repeated his diabolical plan during another media interaction. Here too, not one reporter challenged Trump or his terrorist friend from Israel and reminded them about violating international law. No one even reminded Trump that if Gaza had become hell, who had turned this place into hell? Nobody told him that the person who had turned Gaza into hell was sitting right next to him, enjoying his hospitality and shamelessly smiling at his ability to push the US into committing another round of war crimes.
Peter?
Would Palestinians have the right to return to Gaza if they left while the rebuilding was happening?
It would be my hope that we could do something really nice, really good, where they wouldn't want to return. Why would they want to return? The place has been hell. It's been one of the meanest, toughest places on earth. And right now, I've seen every picture from every angle, better than if I were there. And nobody can live there. You can't live there. So if we can build them through massive amounts of money supplied by other people, very rich nations, and they're willing to supply it. If we can build something for them in one of the countries, and it could be Jordan, and it could be Egypt, it could be other countries, and you could build 4 or 5 or 6 areas. It doesn't have to be one area, but you take certain areas and you build really good quality housing, like a beautiful town, like someplace where they can live and not die. Because Gaza is a guarantee that they're going to end up dying. The same thing's going to happen again. It's happened over and over again, and it's going to happen again as sure as you're standing there, Peter. So I hope that we could do something where they wouldn't want to go back. Who would want to go back? They've experienced nothing but death and destruction. Who would want to?
This is also a wake-up call for all those who voted for Trump, trusting his Make America Great Again pledge. He's making Israel great by the ethnic cleansing of 2 million Palestinians. Congratulations, America. As expected, there has been swift and angry reactions to Trump's sickening idea. Palestinian group Hamas has firmly rejected Trump's recommendation. Senior Hamas official Sami Abu Zuhri said the call for Palestinians in Gaza to be ethnically cleansed was an expulsion from their land. Trump's remarks about his desire to control Gaza are ridiculous and absurd, and any idea of this kind are capable of igniting the region. Abu Zuhri went on to add, we consider Trump's plan, a recipe for generating chaos and tension in the region because the people of Gaza will not allow such plans to pass. Palestinian Islamic Jihad, another Palestinian group, it said, and I quote, Trump's positions and plans are a dangerous escalation that threaten Arab and regional national security, especially in Egypt and Jordan, which the US administration wants to put in confrontation with the Palestinian people and their rights. End quote. Saudi Ministry of Foreign Affairs. This is very, very important. The Saudi government has said that Saudi will not normalize relations with Israel without the creation of an independent state of Palestine. The Foreign Ministry statement read, and I quote, "The Ministry of Foreign Affairs affirms that the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia's position on the establishment of a Palestinian state is firm and unwavering. His Royal Highness Prince Mohammed bin Salman bin Abdul Aziz Al Saud, Crown Prince and Prime Minister, clearly and unequivocally reaffirmed this stance during his speech at the opening of the first session of the 9th term of the Shura Council on September the 18th, 2024. His Royal Highness emphasized that Saudi Arabia will continue its relentless efforts to establish an independent state with East Jerusalem as its capital and will not establish diplomatic relations with Israel without that." End quote. This is important, as I said, because Trump and his terrorist friend both claimed last night that their idea of ethnic cleansing had received support from Arab leaders.
You are talking tonight about the United States taking over a sovereign territory. What authority would allow you to do that? Are you talking about a permanent occupation there, redevelopment? And Mr. Prime Minister, do you see this idea as a way to expand the boundaries of Israel and to have a longer peace, even though the Israeli people know how important that land is to you and your citizens, just as the space is inherited by the Palestinians as well?
I do see a long-term ownership position, and I see it bringing great stability to that part of the Middle East and maybe the entire Middle East. And everybody I've spoken to, this was not a decision made lightly. Everybody I've spoken to loves the idea of the United States owning that piece of land, developing and creating thousands of jobs with something that will be magnificent in a really magnificent area that nobody would know. Nobody can look because all they see is death and destruction and rubble and demolished buildings falling all over. It's just a terrible sight. I've studied it. I've studied this very closely over a lot of months, and I've seen it from every different angle. And it's a very, very dangerous place to be, and it's only going to get worse. And I think this is an idea that's gotten tremendous, and I'm talking about from the highest level of leadership, gotten tremendous praise. And if the United States can help to bring stability and peace in the Middle East, we'll do that.
Now, back home in the US Senator Chris Murphy called it sick, as he wrote on Twitter, and I quote, "He's totally lost it. A US invasion of Gaza would lead to the slaughter of thousands of US troops and decades of war in the Middle East. It's like a bad, sick joke." End quote. Murphy then also added that there was absolutely no way the US was able to take over Gaza, adding that this was Trump's clever plan to distract American public from the real story of loot by his cronies. Russia, a permanent member of the UN Security Council, rejected Trump's crazy plans on the ethnic cleansing of Palestinians. Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said that there are Israeli plans to take full control of the occupied West Bank and attempts to displace Palestinians from the Gaza Strip, adding that practicing a policy of collective punishment is a method that Russia rejects. China, another permanent member of the UN Security Council, said that it opposed the forced transfer of the people of Gaza and hopes all parties will take ceasefire and post-conflict governance as an opportunity to bring the Palestinian issue back to a political settlement based on the two-state solution. France, too, rejected Trump's plan. Foreign Ministry spokesperson Christopher Lemoyne said in a statement, and I quote, "France reiterates its opposition to any forced displacement of the Palestinian population of Gaza, which would constitute a serious violation of international law, an attack on the legitimate aspirations of the Palestinians, but also a major obstacle to the two-state solution and a major destabilizing factor for our close partners Egypt and Jordan, as well as for the entire region." End quote. As for the UK, a permanent member of the UN Security Council, whose Prime Minister has been a seasoned human rights lawyer, or at least that's what he claims to be, it has simply decided to not react. Yes, no reaction from clown David Lammy, no statement from Prime Minister Keir Starmer. They are either too weak to raise a voice against Trump or severely compromised by Israeli terrorists, or both. This also tells you everything about the real standing of the UK internationally. These corrupt politicians are making the UK a laughing stock globally. That's it from me. Thank you very much for your support of this platform and our journalism on buymeacoffee.com and Patreon. If you too think that our journalism is worth supporting, then you too should consider becoming part of it. In the meantime, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so, because that's one of the many ways you can support independent journalism. God bless you all.